What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another combo guide and deck profile. So let us dive right on in. So for this, we are about ready to break into a Melodious song. We're singing some solfege, and yes, I do mean Melodious Solfachord. So you guys had voted for Solfachord Melodious rather than Canine Melodious, and we were going to take that to locals, but didn't pan out quite right. And at time of filming this is YCS Anaheim, so there's a lot going on. So we're just going to jump right into showing you Solfachord with the Melodious engine, what you can do, some combos, test hands, and some ways to prepare against it if you do see it, or if not, then you at least know. But let us jump into the profile, and I will say that this one is a lab version still. It's not a final product. There are definitely some changes that I will make, and I'll point those out as I go through the deck profile. And this version isn't as great as the Canine version, and the Canine version you can play with Izuna or without Izuna, which is really cool, because all you really need is Joku and Lantern. So without, let's show you the profile. All right, so again, this is just going to be a extra deck. So we'll just jump right into it. We are playing dos Solfachord Kulia with 3 Solfachord Primoa, 2 Solfachord Solfegia, 1 dos Solfachord Cutia, 1 Solfachord Gracia, and 1 Ray Solfachord Dreamia. So I think as terms of monsters go, this is like as much as you want, because Primoa and Cutia are really like your starter pieces. But you don't want to max out on copies of this just because Primoa is a little bit better. You're also not wanting to have too many high scales for the deck, because you're not wanting to scale as much. You're really established turn 1, turn 3, you're going for the kill kind of thing. You don't want games to go any longer than that with this version, so hence why it's so kept down onto starters. And the real card that you really want to resolve is Solfachord Happiness. This card is not once per turn. Its effects are once per turn, but it has 3 different effects. The main 2 effects that you will be using are the discard 1 card to add 2 Solfa Pendulum monsters, and then special summon Solfachord Pendulum monsters from your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls +1. So typically you are getting 1 on board when you're going first. And then the secondary effect you'll be using is during your main phase, you deck the Pendulum summon the Solfachord monsters in addition to your Pendulum summon. The other one I haven't seen come up as much, special summoning 2 Solfachords from your Pendulum zones. That one could come up in weird situations, but primarily you're going for the first 2 effects. And then last, you have 1 copy of Solfachord Elegance. I have definitely gone back and forth between playing a second copy of Elegance, but because you're not playing that many Solfachord Pendulums, you don't want to play that many copies of this, so 1 is good for now. And then the Melodious engine, it's very cut and dry. Playing 3 copies of Ostinato, 3 copies of Refrain, 1 couplet, and then 1 concerto. That's all you really need for this engine. You play anything else, you're crazy. And then the rest is some non-engine or any cards to help you play. We're looking at 1 copy of 1 for 1 and 1 copy of Called By. Just because we do want to hit some of those pesky hand traps that hit us, like Moltarmies, the Ash Blossoms. Those are primarily what really hurt us the most. So, and Effective Veiler too. And then speaking of hand traps, we are playing 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Fugalos, and 3 copies of Imperv. And then we are playing Board Breaker, so it's a bit of a hybrid, playing 2 copies of Tech Thrust with 1 talent, 1 Black Oak Laughs, 1 V Barrier, and then 3 copies of Eclipse. I definitely think if you are to play this, you side these and play hand traps, because you want to play as much hand traps as possible, in my opinion, to help utilize. And I think even that, you can also play like a Pot of Prosperity for this, because this version of the deck, you don't need a whole lot of your extra deck, so Prosperity is really good. Which, to the extra, playing 1 copy of Odd Eyes Vortex with 2 Baka, 1 Odd Eyes Absolute, This just helps you establish an Omni Negate, which is, I think, in my opinion, the best way to play it. You will definitely find some profiles that play Baka, Schuberta, Etoile, and this being Typhon. But I think setting up the Omni is just a little bit better for this deck. And the rest, you have 1 copy of IP, 1 Beyond, 1 Pit Knight Early, 1 SP, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Grand Solfachord Musicea, 1 Exceed, 1 Grand Solfachord Colia, 1 Albao Q, and 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So if you are to change anything, you can change Early, you can change Underworld, and the Grand Solfachord Musicea. I think these 3 are flex spots. You could put Typhon, Access Code, and something else. I don't know what, but you have flexibility to play different stuff in this extra deck, which is really nice. So again, this is just a lab version of this deck, but Albao is just crazy because you're able to get different typings in the grave between Fiend, Fairy, Spellcaster, Zombie, Winged Beast. I mean, you're getting a lot into the grave to just draw, which is really crazy. You're able to like fix your hand on the following turns. So now that we've got the deck profile, let's do some bread and butter combos. And to start off with our combos, you're going to, a lot of this deck is not straightforward like 1-card combos. This is a lot of 2-card combos for this deck. And the biggest one is going to be seeing Ostinato and Solfachord Happiness. These 2 are going to be what gets you like into a really good board state. So we'll go ahead and zoom out here. And first off, we'll go ahead and activate your Ostinato. You're going to go ahead and fusion summon away into, of course, right as soon as we find the materials, you'll send the 2 copies of Refrain to the grave for Baka. You'll go Baka to special summon out the last special out Refrain. Refrain will go ahead and search your Coop. Coop will go ahead and special out another copy of Refrain. So if this combo does get, if Ostinato does get stopped, you're kind of screwed because Happiness needs to be able to discard to get that fusion summon or the search. So, but if Ostinato resolves, you're a-okay. You go ahead and scale the Coop. Coop will go ahead and now search you out the Concerto. Go ahead and probably just skip right past it. And now we got Concerto. We'll go ahead and fuse. Use these 2 in for Baka number 2. And then overlay Bakas for Absolute. So here, if you get nibbed, you're still golden. Because you'll still get your draw of Concerto, you'll still get Vortex, and you'll still get the special of another Refrain, so that way you can still go into Beyond the Pendulum. But if you don't, it's smooth sailing here. We go ahead and link these 2 off in for Beyond the Pendulum, trigger off Beyond Chainlink 1, Absolute Chain 2, Baka Chain 3, and Concerto as Chain 4. So we'll go ahead and put the Concerto at the bottom to draw 1. We'll go ahead and special off of the Refrain, or off of Baka, special off of the Absolute, and then get our search. So really, depending on what you draw is what you're gonna like depend for your search. But I think for us, we're gonna go ahead and search out Cutia. From here, we'll go ahead and activate our Happiness. We'll go ahead and discard the Solfegia. We'll come back to her later to search out. We'll go ahead and actually search out a Primoa and another copy of Solfegia. So even though Beyond locks us out of monster effects, we can still activate spells. So we can go ahead and scale our 2 pen scales, pen summon 2, and then we'll go chain 1 Cutia, chain 2 Primoa. We want to do this just in case Cutia gets negated by like an Imperm Veiler or whatever. Then Primoa can bounce itself back to your hand, and if Cutia gets negated, Cutia gets negated. But if it doesn't, we're going to go ahead and search ourselves out Gracia. And then from here, we'll go ahead and link these two off into Grand Solfachord Coolia. So we go into Coolia here because Coolia reads, it gains 100 for each face-up pendulum monster, which really doesn't matter. But its second is pendulum monsters that this card points to cannot have their effects negated, which is really great. But the last effect is the effect that we really care about, which reads, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, you can special summon one Solfachord card with an odd scale from your pendulum zone to your zone this card points to, and if you do, negate the activation. So that's why we leave the Solfeggia, because that way we can negate the activation of whatever he's trying to activate, and then just combo still. So right now we've got 2 Omni negates, which is really good. And then from here, we'll go ahead and go into a link 3. So we'll link these 3 off for, I'm getting ahead of myself. Since you added the Promoa back to your hand, you'll normal summon the Promoa to gain its effect. To search out for a Solfachord card, here we'll go ahead and get ourselves Happiness. Then we'll go ahead and link these 3 for Exceed, in which Exceed will trigger its effect. We're going to grab back our Promoa. Then we'll go ahead and scale the Promoa, and here we can choose to use Exceed's effect. We're going to go ahead and use it to special back the Solfeggia. And then we'll go Solfeggia effect, tributing itself to special summon the Gracia from hand. We'll go Gracia effect to search out Elegance. And since Beyond has served its purpose, we'll go ahead and link these two in for a Nightmare Cerberus. And then link these 2 for a Baoq. So now we'll go Solfachord Happiness to gain additional pen summon for Solfas. We'll go ahead and special back the Gracia, the Solfeggia, and the Cutia. Go ahead and link these 2 for an IP. And then from here, you can choose to activate the Elegance to destroy these 2, or add them from the pendulum zones to extra deck to draw 2 cards. You can gamble, or as I would like to do is hold on to it, so that way Baoq is a live card, in which here we can use Bao to discard to bring back Exceed if we really wanted to, but Exceed will get us no value, so we're going to hold on to that. And this is what we end on. So we end on an IP to go into either Pit Knight or SP Little Knight, and including Nightmare Phoenix as well, or Underworld Goddess, using IP and the Gracia. Coolia will go ahead and special out the Solfeggia to negate something. Bao will be able to discard a pop. So we're ending on a lot. We still have Vortex to shuffle back any of these pendulums to negate. Typically, you'll want to shuffle back the Solfachord stuff, since this is just dead to us now. So that is like your standard combo line that you would want to do with this deck. It definitely varies. And again, this is Ostinato and Solfachord Happiness. If you happen to just have Happiness and then 1 card, the combo will look much different. So let's show you that one. So going first, you open up a Fualos and a Happiness. So here we'll go Happiness to discard the Fua, to go ahead and search Promoa and a Gracia, and then choose to summon the Promoa. And then Promoa's effect will activate. You can go ahead and search for Solfeggia. And then here you can go ahead and activate Solfeggia's effect to special summon, since you control nothing but Solfachords. And then you can go ahead and activate its effect, tributing itself, or we will not tribute itself. We'll go ahead and activate its effect to special summon the Gracia from hand, in which Gracia will go ahead and activate to search us Solfachord Elegance. From here, we'll go ahead and use all 3 for link summon in for Exceed. Exceed will then go ahead and add us the Solfeggia to our hand, and then here we'll go ahead and activate the Solfeggia. We're going to go ahead and add, or the Elegance, sorry, place the Solfeggia back to our extra deck face up. to then scale 0 Primoa, scale 9 Solfeggia. And then from here you can go ahead and pen summon all 3 out. Go ahead and link these 2 for IP, or rather than IP, go same route, make Cerberus for Albao. So again, it is not as formidable, but like it also depends on your hands, because you can also go Primoa to bounce itself, normal summon the Primoa, link these 2 off, and then gain your IP Masquerena. So it really depends on like what you see in your hand. So let's jump into that, because honestly, like, Ostinato is the best way to open up. If you open Ostinato and the Happiness, you're smooth sailing, because you just need Happiness to resolve. Yes, you do get a ton of advantage with Ostinato resolving as well, but it is not critical to the end board. So now let's draw a test hand. Alrighty, not the best of test hands, because you got a lot of normal summon cards that you can do, which in my opinion isn't the best. But to make the best of the situation, go ahead, scale the Primoa. Go ahead, activate Elegance to place 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck in the Pendulum Zone. And we're going to go ahead and place here Solfeggia. We'll go ahead and pen summon. Yes, pen summon. We'll go chain 1, chain 2. Because we really want to prioritize the QTA resolving, so that way we can search. Or chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. That way this gets bounced back to hand, and we can search out Gracia. Unfortunately, Couplet's not going to have a target, but that's okay, because we can go ahead, scale Coop, go Coop effect, 2 grab Concerto, go ahead, use Concerto to fuse for Baka, go effect of Baka. And the reason why you don't want to scale the Melodious is because Couplet reads you cannot pendulum summon other than light. So I mean, you can scale Refrain since she is a low scale, but we are trying to avoid that. Avoid scaling them as much as you can. From here, you'll link off the 3 for Exceed. Go chain 1 Exceed, chain 2 Concerto. So Concerto will place itself at the bottom. Draw a card. Of course, we draw an Ostinato. And then here we'll go ahead and grab the QTA back. We'll go ahead, scale Primoa. Activate Exceed to special Gracia. Gracia will then search us a Solfachord Happiness, and we have not used Primoa's effect. So we'll go Happiness, discarding the Ostinato to search out for another copy of Primoa and our Coolia. And then special summon the Primoa. We'll go ahead and use Primoa to search for another copy of Happiness. I'm gonna go ahead and link these 2 in for IP. Then we'll go ahead and go Happiness to gain additional pen summon Coolia, Primoa, and Gracia. And then here we'll go ahead use these 3 for our last link summon in for Grand Solfachord Coolia. Go ahead, set 1, and pass turn there. So this may not look like a lot, but you get Coolia as an Omni, other Coolia as a 2 target negate since you have an odd scale. You do have an Imperm, you have an IP that can use the Solfeggia here for either SP, early, whatever you might need, and then you have QTA in hand as follow-up for the turn. And that is all without, I mean, yes, you are using your entire hand for that combo, but I mean, 'tis the folly of the deck. And that is all without normal summon too, might I add. And that is uninterrupted. If you do get interrupted, you still have your normal summon that you can use. But I think that the deck has a lot of potential going forward in this format. DDD is definitely going to be the deck that definitely overshadows this one, because DDD does do a lot more, but this one is still very formidable in my opinion. Don't discredit it quite yet. But that is it for this video, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys think of this deck. How would you play it as a fellow pendulum enthusiast? Let me know what you would like to see next. If you'd like to see me actually take this to locals, or if you would like to see the K9 variant. Is the K9 variant, and that is both with Azuna and without Azuna, because this deck can do it without Azuna. But that is it, you guys. Catch you in the next one.